who made it to the workshop today. What's up, y'all? Hey, y'all. Welcome back to the AW, your forever safe space to chill, feel, and heal. If you're new here, the AW stands for Eretic's Workshop. I'm Eretic, and the workshop is a space for you to sit in your shadows, reflect on your thoughts, and come out on top. Hello again. We back at it once again, okay? Apologies for the late upload, or I don't know if I'm gonna upload this one later this week because it's already Thursday, so I might just wait till Monday to drop this one, which will probably be the case. But yeah, I skipped last week because life has really been lifing. Life has been lifing, and I can't say it's not because of my own actions. So we'll leave it there. And I feel like ever since I started this podcast, not ever since, but like, I don't know, like the past 2-3 months when I get on here, I'm just like, y'all, life has been life, and I miss weeks and everything because my life has just been like pure chaos. And I'm just like, I don't understand. I don't get it. Like, why have I been chosen to be in chaos? I just need to know. So yeah, that's why an episode didn't come out last week. But I want to start this episode saying that we are actually going to skip Spin the Block this week, and we're going to skip a word from the fam because this is a very special message that I wanted to give out in a very special moment for me. And it is really in honor of someone else to someone else. So I just want to make this episode dedicated to this specific topic and to the person that I want to dedicate it to. So we're going to go ahead and run over to Fellowship Hall. I just want to go ahead and get started. I will catch you guys up on my life next week because I don't even want to think about it. That's just the pure truth. So let's go ahead, run over to the Fellowship Hall, and let's get started for this beautiful message I have today. All right, y'all. So this week was my grandma's birthday, right? And her birthday is on October 3rd. She is no longer Earthside. She has passed away and been gone for about 10 years now. And ever since she has left, I felt like we have had a stronger connection since she's left. And only the people who are into this type of stuff or feel the way that I feel in, when it comes to spirituality and stuff like that, will understand what I'm talking about. And I just feel like me and her relationship is more spiritual than it was physical. And when she was physical, like, I loved her to death. Nothing different. It's just I didn't have enough time to really spend with her in my adult years, and all I really have is childhood memories with her. So she's very near and dear to my heart, really a true role model for me. I feel like I'm more her than I am myself. And I feel like people who know her might say the same thing, but I don't really know because I was the baby of the family. I didn't really get a chance to see her in her younger years and stuff like that. So I just feel like I have a really strong connection with her, as I'm pretty sure her other grandkids and children do as well. But you just like to think you're special. So I think ours is special. But with that being said, with me being the baby of the family, my mom was also the baby of the family. So it automatically made me the baby of the family, unless someone else had a child, but no one else did until it became like the great grandkids or the nieces and nephews and stuff like that. So I'm the baby, my mom's the baby, and I just felt like we've always just had this like trifecta of a connection: my grandma, my mom, and me. It is like, there's other people in the family. But it just has always felt like it was just me, my mom, and my grandma, right? And no shade to my aunties and uncles because I love them dearly. But my mom is a true extension of my grandma, and I'm an extension of my mom, making me an extension of my grandma. You know how generations work, okay? Everyone knows how it works. So for my grandma's birthday this year, I wanted to give an ode to my mom, or a letter to my mom, just expressing my gratitude for her because she really does deserve. And throughout these last few years, last couple of months, last just transitions in my life, I have had many different emotions and revelations and epiphanies around me and my mom's relationship. They've come with ups and they've come with downs, and I'm just at a different space in life where I'm able to actually see things in a different light, from a different perspective, hold gratitude, but still hold accountability and my boundaries, but appreciate what came from that and see the beauty in the situations I have been through and what our connection brought into my life. So, yeah, I'm the type of person. If you're a person who talks to your ancestors or you pray or anything like that, I'm the type of person who talks to my grandma daily, all the time. We just have that connection. And it just came to me that, it's time to give your mom her flowers. You know what I'm saying? Like, she deserves. And I feel like everyone should give people their flowers, of course, while they're here. And when you see a different perspective from when you first had an issue or had a rift in your relationship or something like that, you should definitely be able to come to the table and be like, you know what, my perspective has changed and this is how I view it now. If you guys know me personally, or if you watched my YouTube video that was labeled my toxic attachment to emotional, no, that's not what it's called. It was called my toxic relationship with emotional unavailable people. A mouthful. But that was what the title was. And in that video, I talked about people who were emotionally available, who have played very big parts in my life today and have helped me realize that I need to insert boundaries and I don't need to have people in my life who have one-sided relationships and so on and so forth. So in that video, I addressed past lovers, I addressed my mom, I addressed friends, I addressed whoever I felt like was emotionally unavailable because it was my truth and I was speaking it. Still stand on it today. But y'all always know I see both sides of every story. I'm going to see duality in every situation. So wherever I see the dark shadow in our relationship, I'm also going to take the time to evaluate the light and the positive of a connection. So that's what I'm doing today. I've focused on the shadow already, and focusing on that shadow actually brought a lot of things to fruition for me. So we're going to go ahead and get started with this. And I want to start with the shadow aspect of it. So if you guys didn't watch that video briefly, I just talked about what me and my mom's connection has been growing up and how I felt like I was alone and I felt like I really didn't have anyone to talk to, and she just really wasn't there for me, like emotionally and sometimes mentally. So I first recognized these things when I was in high school, and then I went off to college. And so looking back on those situations, when I first recognized it in high school, I remember having a conversation with her like, hey, I feel like we just don't talk anymore. Like I feel like we're just not as close. Because from middle school back, like best memories of my freaking life. And we just had a really good time middle school down. And so when I got in high school, I was just like, I just feel like we're not here no more. You know what I'm saying? And she was very vulnerable with me, and she was like, well, I feel like you're never around. And that's a very common feeling from your parents when it's that empty nest syndrome. I start getting older, I start having booze, serious relationships, friends. So I was just out and about. You know what I'm saying? I was out and about doing everything. I would be at home maybe 2 or 3 days, and the next 2 days I go stay the night at a friend's house. So I was just not there either. And as a kid, you don't see that. You're just kind of like, well, you're my mom, so like you're supposed to be here whether I'm here or not. And I can say that my mom has kind of always treated me like an adult, which to me, looking back, best decision of my freaking life. Okay, I feel like everyone should probably treat their kids as adults. It kind of makes them grow up a little faster. It might come with, its bads and its goods, but for the most part, best decision that she could have made raising me. Once I was able to kind of come to terms with that and realize that, there are some things about your relationship that you don't like and you don't feel like you can just bring to the table because you brought them to the table before, things haven't really changed. And even though you guys have had some kind of dialogue about how you feel about you guys drifting apart, nothing really changed. You guys just kind of talked about it and went on about your ways and continue to drift apart. So then that's when the YouTube video came, and I was just like, some people seen it as, oh, you go to, the internet to spill out your emotions, and some people seen it as, oh, this is an opportunity for me to come in and say my side. And I like both sides because I was able to, defend myself like, no, I don't necessarily come to the internet to tell my business. I talk to people first. I definitely let it be known, and when I come to the internet, it's merely to share my story because there's a lot of people going out there in life dealing with the same things and they don't know how to approach these situations. So since I am bold enough in my life to take these steps and make changes for myself, I want to share that with people to show them, hey, it's okay. It's going to be uncomfortable, but you can definitely do it. So when my mom saw the video, she definitely hit me up and was just like, I didn't have the tools to be there emotionally for you at that time. I was only raising you the way that I was raised. I didn't really have anything else, you know? And in that moment, I was kind of like, okay, yeah, I understand. But I still was kind of like, okay, that's an excuse or it's a reason. I didn't really know how to look at it, you know. But with time going on, I was like, you know, that really is not an excuse. That's really just where she was coming from. Point blank period. She did not have anything else to go off of. So my only request from our conversation was that, can we have progressive change? Can we, now that we've addressed the issue, can we change things and move in a better direction, you know? So even though we had that conversation, even though we came to an agreement, we still drifted apart, you know, took our time to just kind of not engage and reflect on how each other may have affected each other, you know, a real adult situation, you know, and a lot of people don't see themselves having these kind of conversations, these type of compromises or anything like that with their parents or with their children, because they're just kind of like, everyone has their roles and you don't really step outside of that. Not me and my mom. That's not what it is, because like I said, she kind of raised me as an adult. So it's kind of like we never really had those roles, except for, you know, of course, she took care of my basic needs and stuff like that. But when it came to having conversations and interacting with other people and stuff, she always treated me like an adult. And I will forever be grateful for that. I'm not going to be able to stress that enough. So during this period of creating some distance between us and me reflecting and having just this reflection period, of course, during that time I was hurt and I was still wanting change. And I was just like, you know, there's still not much changing, even till today. There's still not much changing from our initial conversation. There's been more dialogue. We have more emotions come into things, but as far as like the bigger picture that I'm looking for, that has not come into fruition. But I haven't harped on that because I'm just kind of like, everyone's different. Everyone's trying to do the best that they can at life. And if this is something that is not possible for this person at this moment, I can't harp on it. And I can't hold resentful feelings either, but I can just move forward in the direction that's best for me, you know? But during this reflection time, I just had a difference of perspective and a change of heart and how I look at things. You know, the same thing with perspective, just having gratitude for it. So you guys know how I was talking at the beginning and saying how I'm the baby, my mom's the baby, and I just feel like we were all connected to my grandma, right? Well, having that reflection time really gave me time to sit and think about, how did your mom grow up? You know, what was her circumstance to the point that she raised you the way that she did, right? Because I always looked at the way that she raised me was like, she just was not hands-on and just kind of let me be free, but I didn't like it at the time because I'm a very like particular person. Like I go by steps, I plan everything out. So I felt like that was a result because my mom wasn't like strict or didn't plan a lot of things out. It was kind of just like a go with the flow type thing, you know, a true Virgo, okay? And when I want to refer back to the baby comment, is that because my mom was the baby, listening to her stories that she's told me when she was growing up, it is very obvious that she didn't have any freedom. You know what I'm saying? Like they gave her a look of freedom, but when that freedom wasn't up to their standards, if she did something that wasn't up to the family standards or something, they quickly sheltered her. They quickly put her in a box and they quickly took away her freedom. She wasn't really raised by my grandma. Like she was, but she wasn't. It was like her siblings kind of stepped in because I cannot remember how many of them it is. I think it's 7 or 8 of them all together. So you know that generation, they come from bigger families and the mom has to go to work, especially if the dad's not around or if the dad is around. You know, it's just a lot going on all the time. Everyone's busy. And when you have a lot of siblings like that, is by default, those siblings are going to end up taking care of the youngest child. So that's what I have realized, the position that my mom was in. She was definitely the youngest out of 7 or 8 kids, and they treated her as a baby. They did not let her do things. And you know, nowadays, some families, they treat their babies, they let them do anything, you know what I'm saying? And then the other ones, they are super sheltered because they're like, well, I'm not gonna lose this one, you know what I'm saying? This is my prized possession, this is the last one, and we're gonna make sure they do everything that I want them to do. So my mom was in the position of just being in the country, because in the country, I mean in the country, y'all, like, I was raised in the country on a large piece of land with chicken coops and gardens. Okay. So it's just like, it was the country. And number one, I could tell that my mom didn't want to be stuck there. Number two, she didn't have much freedom while she was there because her family was just like, you know, you're not going to be wild on our watch. You know what I'm saying? And number three, it wasn't many opportunities out there. So I can see my mom's perspective and how she raised me. She didn't want me to feel like the caged bird that she was, you know. She wanted me to be able to just go into the world, do whatever I wanted to do, and not be limited by what she was saying or by what the world was saying, because she did everything in her power to make sure that I was going to be able to live a life of luxury, honestly. And she sacrificed everything, every part of her freedom for me to have so much freedom. It took a lot of reflection for me to see that, and a lot of just awareness coming into my life to be like, you are living a life that your mom dreamed of living, and this is why you're living it, because she had that dream. The saying, dreamed it then real life did. That's what my mom did. Okay, but she did it for me. I'm super grateful for that, because it's like, we don't see the sacrifices that our parents make on the daily basis. And then when you get older and you start going through life and you see things and you see how other people are handling situations, and you're just like, man, my mama actually did a good job on that, because if I was in that situation, I probably would have folded. I mean, completely folded. All right. And so seeing her strength, and to me, as a woman being in the military for 25 years, I know I could not do it. I couldn't do it. But she did it every day for me, and she did it for her own freedom too. Like, she left a small town in order to expand herself, in order to reach different limits in her life that her family might have told her wasn't possible, because I haven't seen much of her family leave. Like, they're not my family, much of our family leave the state that we're from. She's been a lot of different places. And granted, some of them have been in the military and traveled around the world and stuff like that, but they didn't move and stay outside of the state that we're from. I can't say that some of them did move out of country and came back, but that's the thing. They always came back. And it seems like my mom was just ready to just leave and never look back. And I don't know what she's been through in her life to make her be at the point where she wants to just not go back. I can't fault her for her decisions, because I was not walking in her shoes. I don't know the experiences she went through, but I do know that she's very strong. And I do know that from the experiences that she has told me about, I wouldn't be able to go through them, and if I did go through them, I would probably be a totally different person. So I see her strength. I admire her strength. And because of her strength, I'm very, very strong. And I just flowed into my next point so effortlessly. I didn't even like I tell y'all all the time, I write this stuff down, but I don't like rehearse before I get in front of the camera. So when I'm talking and then it just goes into my next point, I'm just like, alignment. But anywho, I'm such a spiritual girl. I'm so spiritual. But like I was saying, I'm so strong. And I'm strong because of how independent she was, how fearless she was, how brave she was, That's one thing she just instilled in me. It's just like, number one, don't worry about nothing. You don't need to worry about nothing, because everything's going to be okay. For that to come from someone who came from way less than what I came from lets me know that I can do it hands down. Like, my mom made a way despite her circumstances. And I have good circumstances. So I know, like, whatever challenge I'm faced with, automatically I'm like, okay, I'm going to get it done. I'm going to work it out. It might not be pretty during the process, but I'm going to work it out. Like, point blank period. I'm always make sure I work it out. And even when it feels like it doesn't work out, it's okay to show your emotions. So this kind of backtracks to when I said that, my mom was kind of emotionally unavailable. there were points in our lives where she was actually emotionally vulnerable. A lot of people say they haven't seen their parents cry or anything like that. I definitely have. My mom, she tried her best to keep, the negative stuff, the things that weren't going right out of my way. But number one, I'm very intuitive. I've been like this since I was a child. So I would always feel when the energy was off, and I would always ask a lot of questions like, okay, well, what's going on? Da, 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 da. And her immediate response is, don't worry about it. Like, you are a worry wart. And I don't know where you get that from, but you're always worried. And I don't need you to worry. I got it. And there would be times I seen her cry, and there would be times I would hear her cry. And that, being exposed to that at an early age, let me know that it's okay. Even when I would be crying and she would call me a crybaby, I still knew it was okay because I would see her cry. Just because she called me a crybaby, it didn't make me not want to ever cry again. It just let me know that, okay, you might have took it too serious. You know what I'm saying? But you could still cry, but like that situation, like you might need to get over it. So like I appreciate her approach, and I appreciate when she was vulnerable with me, because it just allowed me to validate my feelings when I felt them, and to let me know that once you let it out, everything truly is better. Things do go better and in your favor. And that is just one of her biggest mantras and mottos is, don't worry about it. It will work itself out. It will work itself out every time. And how many times anyone can look in their life and be like, I didn't think it was going to work, but it worked. Everything. If you're still sitting here today, life works. Life is working for you. Life is working out. So I am inspired by my mom. I admire her strength and her vulnerability when she was able to be vulnerable with me. And even after the video that I had posted previously, she was vulnerable with me, and I really, really appreciated that. Her just telling me like, hey, these are the tools I had. I did not mean to do this to you or make you feel as if this is what it was, but I do apologize and I love you. You know what I'm saying? And so you can feel that, when someone is just oblivious to how they may have made you feel, or the experiences that you have went through with them, they don't know. And all it takes is a little bit of awareness, a little conversation and communication here and there to really let somebody know. Now, the way that you communicate might have to be a little different, because you can have a conversation with someone and they don't know, and then you can talk in third person and they still don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like you kind of gotta get creative with your communication solutions, but eventually the message will get across, and that's all that truly matters. Like, you feel heard and the other person understands where you're coming from in some point in time in your life. Along with the mantra of not worrying, I learned how to persevere and to have persistence. Okay, there would be so many times my mom would come home and be like, I'm sick of this place. And then she would be talking about her job, right? I'm trying to tell you, like, me and my mom have always kind of been homegirls. Like, we really have. Of course, like, I treated her as my mom and she treated me as her daughter, but we really felt like homegirls. So she would come and vent about like her workplace and how they was getting on her nerves and how so-and-so did this and so-and-so did that. You know what I'm saying? And like as a kid, I'm like middle school, high school, I don't know what's going on. I'm just like, well, that sucks, like, that really sucks. Like, and I would always be like, why can't you just quit? I would always say that to her. And she would be like, I have like 4 years left in this thing. And then the time will come around. I'm like, are you going to get out? Like, are you going to leave? And she's just like, no. Or I'm probably going to resign. You know what I'm saying? So that taught me that sometimes things get hard. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes things are undesirable. Sometimes things are uncomfortable. But there's a bigger goal here. And her bigger goal was me and our stability. Okay, because there will be many times where our stability might have been compromised, or there will be many times where we just didn't know what the next day was going to look like. And that's just the life that we live together. That's the bond that we have together. It was just living life. And she showed me that even when it's bad, keep going. When it's good, keep going. When it's mediocre and it's boring, keep going. You're going to get to a bigger picture. And now she's living her life on her retirement in Florida, as all the retirees do. Okay, they get their check and they move to Florida. Okay, So living her life, she had a bigger goal. And she has moved around so much ever since she retired, like, because that's the life she clearly wanted to live. I'm trying to tell y'all, she clearly was in a cage when she was younger. And the moment she was able to be free, she was like, deuces, I'm out of here. Okay, out. With her persistence, it gave me a better life. It just did. Because if we would have stayed where we were at, there is no telling what type of girl I would be right now. And a little part of the person that I could have been definitely followed me throughout life, and it still does. I mean, but it's a part of my heritage, it's a part of my culture, it's a part of who I am. I love it, but it didn't make or break my life, because staying in those situations, especially in a small town and stuff, it can really make or break your life, and it could limit your mindset so much. But because my mom took me out of that situation and put me in different situations as we were growing up, it just expanded my mindset of what life could really be for me. And now I just have this approach of life where I'm fearless and I take chances, I take a risk, and I just roll with the punches. Either it's going to be good or it's going to be bad. If it's bad, it'll get better, and if it's good, hallelujah. Okay? And that's just the mentality I have because of what I see my mom go through. And all in all, she just worked way harder so I wouldn't have to. This is the real definition of what generational wealth looks like. It has to start with somebody. And to me, my grandma definitely is a matriarch. She definitely started everything, but for real change, my mom in my life is the person who created that and is able to be the catalyst for us to actually have wealth in our life, because I'm definitely heading that way because I'm claiming it now, and I'm just a hard worker. It's just not going to pass me by. And now I am in the position where I'm like, I have to continue to work hard to make sure that I've repaid my mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, because the skills that I have, the life that I live, the connections that I make is all because of me being my mom's little shadow and being able to see her in different situations and see how she handles things and see what I want to take from that, what I want to change from that, and how I want to grow from that. And it's truly a blessing. It really is. And I just hope people can see their parents in that light because it's a burden off of you, number one. And it just helps you to see that we're all human and we're just trying to figure it out. Like, we're just trying to figure it out. My mom necessarily wasn't a young mom when she had me. She had my sister when she was younger, but when she had me, she was, I think, in her 30s or approaching her 30s. So to me, that was just like young adult, but like not like a teenager or not like 21 or nothing like that. So she had some time to really sit and figure out, like, you know what, I want a different life for my child, and I'm going to do what I need to do to make sure that everything's good. And I hope that she can be admired by my hard work. And girl, I am. I'm admired. I just want to really harp on the fact that my mom's decisions are truly the key to closing the gap in me and her, like, family, because it's kind of like, yes, we have our bigger family, but when it comes down to it, you always have your immediate family, and it's always just been me and her. I just want her to realize, I want you to realize, mother, okay? Because I'm pretty sure you're listening. I want you to realize that your decisions from me being like 9 years old, I'm pretty sure I was like 9 when we left Georgia. Your decisions from there until now have truly made my life a dream. Okay. And even though my mom wanted to put me in Catholic school when we first got to Nashville, and all her military friends was like, absolutely not. Don't do it. She'll be way worse than just going to public school. She looked for different resources. She was just like, what is something that either I wanted to do or what is something that would be of great benefit to her. You know what I'm saying? And it just makes me very emotional because it's just kind of like we see the things that get on our nerves about our parents, and then we have to take a step back and be like, but you know what? Like, I would not be where I'm at right now. I would not be feeling happy. I would not be grateful. I would not be able to make big decisions and take big risks if I didn't know or didn't see and didn't have the awareness and the history of what my mom went through, what my parents went through, whoever is your influence, what they went through in order to create this life for me. And there was a line that I said in my YouTube video, And I said that I kind of felt like an orphan growing up. Though that statement is very true and it still feels that way, like I still felt like that's how I felt when I was younger. I don't think I would want to live a life any differently, because granted, I wasn't an orphan. So I do not want to take that from anyone who actually was. But I got to experience so many different people and things, okay? And I just would never have the well rounded perspective that I have today if I did not stay in all these people's houses, okay? Because, like, I could say in middle school was probably the most that I moved around and stayed with other people. And I can say, like, in a matter of 2 years, I stayed with at least between 6 to 8, like, different families, right? But it was really fun because they were all my friends. Like, it wasn't like I didn't know them. I knew them from school or whatever. But I got to experience so much. That's where I learned what chores were because my mom she did not give me chores, y'all. She didn't give me chores. She didn't really discipline me. But I love her approach because even though I had all the freedom in the world, I didn't do nothing, y'all. Like, I mean, I would be out and have fun and stuff like that, but I didn't do anything that I guess deemed as bad. I was kind of like, when you watch a movie and you have like the mom or the parent or whatever that's kind of absent or just not really hands-on, and then the child wants to go and be like basically an adult and get their life together and be like this miniature adult as a teenager, and they go and like go to church and they do all these things that like adults would do that kids shouldn't really be taking that serious at that time. That was me. I wasn't worried about like going to party or trying to drink at a young age or anything like that. Like, I didn't have my first drink until I was like 18 or 19, which, I mean, still not legal, but most people had a drink before then. I didn't smoke or anything like that until I was like 20 or so. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like I just didn't feel the need to do all those things because I wasn't restricted. Most people who do those at a young age is because their parents restrict them so much from everything, and they feel like they have no say so in their life. So they're just like, well, forget this. I'm gonna rebel against everything and everybody. Okay. And so I didn't have that because I mean, I grew up with someone who was just like that. My cousin, she was so restricted. Like, her parents were so freaking strict on her. I mean, to the point where it was just like, y'all chill out, like it just wasn't that deep. But she was so rebellious. I mean, to the point where they had to put locks on the windows. They had to put a deadbolt or no, like a key lock inside of the house, like for the front door. So you know how you have the deadbolt, you could just turn back and forth. And then the keys on the outside of the house. Yeah, they had a key on the inside, or the key lock on the inside and the outside of the house, so that in order to leave the house, you needed a key. And I was like, she's still gonna find a way. Like, what do you mean? And so, like, seeing how she grew up and spending summers with her and stuff like that really showed me that, man, you have a wealth of freedom. You know what I'm saying? And this is probably why your cousin loves to be around you and your mom, and that's her favorite auntie, because she's just like, I can just do whatever I want here. My mama didn't care. My mama did not care, but she also knew that I was like the good kid. Like, I always got good grades. If you needed to find me and you couldn't find me, I was probably in my room playing my PlayStation or on the phone or watching TV. Like, I just didn't do too much stuff as a kid, and I was a very curious kid. So I was always learning something, or always on the computer or something like that. So my mom really didn't have much to worry about, and I felt like she knew that she could be more free with me because I just wasn't that kid. I wasn't going to be the one who was going to be out there doing crazy stuff. Like, if I wanted to have a party, my mom would let me have a party, but I just never asked because I didn't think of it. Like, it just wasn't something that was on my radar. So going to these different houses and different families and stuff, like I said, it helped me learn chores. It helped me learn how the dynamics of siblings are. It helped me learn what toxic family environments look like, because baby, there was a lot. It also helped me see that there are actually kids who are more spoiled than you out here. I thought I was just sitting on top of the world. But there actually are kids out here who are more spoiled and more ungrateful than you. And so it just opened up my mind to so much. And even when I would go to other people's houses, they would be like, oh my God, like, can I adopt her? Like, she does chores, she'll get up and wash the dishes, da, 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 da. And I did those things because, number one, their parents would be yelling to get them up. So Okay, I'm not gonna divert. I'm gonna come back to that. But their parents would be getting up to yell and stuff to everybody get up and do the dishes and clean and do all this stuff, and I would be like, well, I don't want to be in trouble because I don't even get in trouble at my house, so I'll be damned if I get in trouble at someone else's house. So let me get up and clean, like what I need to do, what I need to do. And they never really expect the guests to clean, but I was just like, nah, I'm not getting in trouble. Like I just never wanted to be in trouble as a kid. So maybe that's why I didn't do anything, because I didn't want to be in trouble. But I want to go back to the point of parents getting up and yelling and telling everybody it's time to get up and clean and stuff. If you are a Black person, you know that we have this meme floating around of our experience like growing up as kids. And most kids, most Black kids grew up with their parents waking them up early on a Saturday morning to clean, or Sunday, whatever day y'all's were, and always having to do certain things for your parents and stuff, right? I didn't have that experience with my mom personally. My mom was she was real laid back. She didn't do all that extra stuff, and she was kind of a minimalist, so we didn't have to do like a lot of cleaning all the time because we didn't have a lot of people in there. It was just me and her, so we didn't make a lot of messes, but we still clean, of course. And so I got to experience like the typical like Black family through these families, you know what I'm saying? And not being around my family back in Georgia and being in Tennessee and Fort Campbell and stuff like that, I got to experience these families with these people. And it's just, it shaped me in such a way that I don't think I would ever be shaped this way if I grew up any other way, you know? And even though there were uncertain circumstances and not ideal for my mom, she didn't necessarily want to leave me with other people's families, but that was literally the only choice she had because she was a single mom in the military. The fact that she was able to do that and I'm able to see the beauty in that, I hope can take some heaviness off of her spirit for that. You know what I'm saying? Because no, it was not a easy decision. It wasn't something that was ideal, like I said. So even though it wasn't an ideal situation, I just want to say I'm grateful for it. I have so many memories of the people that I stayed with for a while. Like they taught me how to just be me. You know, they helped me grow up. They helped me find my Blackness. They helped me find so much, okay? So many just good friends that I've had in my life that I got to stay with and just experience the difference and the uniqueness of all Black families. Like every family that I stayed with were so different. And it just helped me to see who I am as a person and what it's like to be in my culture fully immersed, you know, because I mean, I did so many things with these people. Went to church, we went on trips, went to school, of course, went to youth centers, went summer just times, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, the experience is unmatched. And even though the circumstances were not what we wanted in order for me to get into these things, everything happens for a reason. And I'm glad that that happened. So thank you. Thank you so much to my mom for putting me in those situations and helping me get a well-rounded view of the world before I really had to enter the world. So that is all the stuff that came to me in my reflection period over the last year or so. Because I think I dropped the video about a year and a half ago. And ever since then, I've been able to kind of sit back and really soak in, what is it? What does it feel like? What is the truth here? What's both sides of everyone's story? What is it? So in the present day, here today, I have a couple of things that I want to address that I feel. So number one, I know what it feels like to forgive and move on now. You know, I have been able to reflect and able to just be like, you know what? I forgive my mom for the situations that she was unaware of, and her accountability has helped me to forgive that and move past that. Now, present day action could use a little work, but I'm very grateful for everything and being able to have the perspective on how to forgive and how to move on, because I'm able to actually sit back and reflect on her circumstances as well. Another thing that I feel is that I am super happy. I just talked about this. Super happy about the people, the places, the experiences, all the things I got to be a part of because of her decisions. If she would have made a different decision, I would have had a different perspective of life. Don't know if it would be good or bad. I don't know. But what she did do was perfect for my life. And it has just filled my heart with joy. And it just makes me want to go back to those times, because I took those times for granted. And they were very pivotal to shaping my life. And I just will forever be grateful. Probably gonna say that 10,000 more times. Another thing that I feel is that I'm very comfortable setting my boundaries with the ability to still love deeply. Us having our conversation and me talking about how I feel about things and stuff like that allowed me to insert boundaries like, well, this is what I need to happen in order for us to move forward, or this is what I'm going to do from now on. I love you no less, you know? But along with that forgiveness, I know I have to have love. And with my reflection period, it just made my love grow more, and still know that it's okay to have boundaries with love. And that's in different relationships outside of me and my mom. That's in work. That's just in life in general. Having boundaries but still being able to love is key, because you don't want to shut your heart off, and you don't want to be such a wall that nobody can get through to you or anything. And again, I just want to show that gratitude for, if she didn't do the things that she did in the past, I would not be living an amazing life right now. And I'm just forever happy about that. And I just hope one day that I can repay her either with a lovely child, because she deserves a grandchild, okay? Or just a lot of money. It's going to be one or the other. I don't know. Hopefully both, you know. Hopefully it's both. But all in all, just from my heart to my mom's heart to you, Bertha, girl, I call her Bertha. That's just a long time inside joke y'all need to know about. But I love you so much. Thank you for everything that you've done for me. This is an ode to you, and an extension from your mother, my grandma, the Holy Grail, the only reason why we're both here today. And I just want to let you know that I'm super grateful for everything that you've done, all the sacrifices you've done, all the desires you put to the side for me to get the desires that I want, and then you return to them later. Thank you. That is such a sacrifice, you know, because I'm a pretty selfish person. And I know when I have a child, I want to be able to give them the desires that you gave me and the memories that you gave me. You know, we had really good times. We still have good laughs. And I just appreciate your energy. I love you as the person that you are. Thank you for being free. Thank you for being a go with the flow type of person. And thank you for just being authentic and genuine to who you are, no matter who told you that it wasn't okay. Because you showed me that it's okay to be who I am. And you also showed me that there's no need to worry, because everything's going to be okay. You'll always be covered in love, whether it's by you or by yourself. You'll be okay. And regardless, I know that you'll always be in my corner, because you always tell me that all the time. And if I have any cheerleader in this life, I know it's you. So I love you, mama. I love you so much, girl. And I just hope that this touches your heart, because you deserve, you really do deserve. And I just want you to know that I see you. I see everything that you've been through, even if I don't know the details. And I see the sacrifices that you made for me. And I just hope to one day live up to the standard of what you gave to me, giving it to my child and my further children, because I'm going to have more than one. But I love you dearly. I hope this touched your soul. And this is really in honor of the number one love of both of our lives. Okay. And that's my grandma, your mom. And you just deserve. So I hope you enjoyed this. This is also a belated birthday to you too, since it was in August. You know, it's kind of been past, but we just gonna throw that in there. But like I said, I love you dearly. And I hope it touched your soul so much. Okay. So for everyone else, now that I've had my moment with my mom, I hope that this touched you guys as well. I hope that it can bring you to a point where you can get past the hurt that you've been through with your parents, that you can look past what you wanted out of y'all's relationship and just take it as face value. You know, of course, if there's things still going on today that you don't like, talk about it. Of course, always talk about it. If they're not receptive, you know what you need to do. Hold a boundary, still love deeply, forgive, and move on. That's really it. I just want you to know that our parents did sacrifice a lot. Our parents did not have the internet like we have it today. They did not have the resources at their fingertips like they had it today. In order to change their lives in the way that we're able to change our lives, a lot of our parents just had to deal with it because there were not as many opportunities as there are today. So recognize where your parents came from, recognize what they had to do. And if they're unable to meet you where you want them to meet you at today, still understand that they're still battling what they went through in their past, you know? Just because the internet is at our fingertips doesn't mean it's going to be easy for them to heal through their past. And it's easier for us because we're used to duality. We literally grew up in the time, well, I don't know, everyone's different who's watching, but in my generation, we grew up in a time where there wasn't any technology for real. And then we were here for the shift, and now we're here all the way head first in technology. And it has created a world of opportunity for us that we didn't know was possible when we were younger, and our parents definitely didn't even think about it being possible because they were just stuck in their day-to-day trying to make ends meet and dealing with society and just so much stuff. We have to recognize that we have more privilege than they did. We really do. We have a different awareness. We have a different perspective than they had. So we have to be able to step back, give them their flowers, because put any one of us in the situations that our parents went through. Try it. It's not gonna be pretty, okay? Because most of our parents were back in the day during like civil rights movements and stuff like that. And if you would have put most of us in my generation in their shoes back then, we would either be in jail or dead, because the way that we act now wouldn't have flown back then, okay? It wouldn't fly, okay? Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Give them their flowers, especially while they're here, okay? Be grateful for them. And if they are shit people, make your peace with it. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to be buddy with your people if they treat you like you're nothing, okay? That's a different situation. Me, on the other hand, my mom does treat me like I'm something. She is very proud of me. She is very loving towards me. And if there's anyone on this world she's going to sacrifice her life for, it's me. You know, and even if she's not able to verbalize that in a way or show me with her actions in a way that makes me feel it all the way, it doesn't mean it's not true. It just means that I need to see where she's coming from. And that's all I'm asking of you guys, is to see where your parents are coming from and to try to either build a relationship if you can, see a different perspective, or make your peace with it. Okay, y'all? So I hope this touched y'all. Okay. I wanted to drop this on my grandma's actual birthday on Monday, but like I said, life hit me and I don't even want to talk about it. So just go give your parents a big hug, tell them you love them, and do what you got to do. All right. This has been fun for me. It's been light and airy, and feel like a weight has been lifted because, you know, your parents just deserve their flowers. They just do. But aside from that, we are going to do the lab today, and we still are going to do a moment. So we're going to go ahead and shimmy on over to the lab where we marry our experience with our knowledge to create some wisdom. Let's go. So you guys know this exercise is definitely going to help you to tap into the reflection part of you and your parents' relationships. So we have number 1. In what ways has your mom or parent, I'm just going to say parent because, you know, everyone has different, it's just different. So in what ways has your parent sacrificed or worked hard to provide a better life for you? Okay. In what ways has your parent sacrificed or worked hard to provide a better life for you? And I'm pretty sure you'll have a laundry list of things, okay? Number 2, do you have any built up resentment towards your parents? If so, what is it? A 2-part. We got a 2-part. Number 2, do you have any built up resentment towards your parents? If so, what is it? Number 3, what does your ideal relationship with your parent look like? That's a good one. Visualization is a real thing. If you write it, you see it, dream it, you'll real life it. I'm trying to tell you. Number 3, what does your ideal relationship with your parent look like? And the last one, number 4, in what ways can you forgive your parent for mistakes they have made? Okay. In what ways can you forgive your parent for mistakes they have made? So I hope that gets you guys thinking and it helps you to really explore the depths of you and your parents' relationship because it's going to be healing to you. It really is. And it's going to help you decide how you want to move forward and help you decide, are you tripping? Are they tripping? Or is everyone tripping? Because it's one of the three, okay? But okay, we're going to go ahead and get to my favorite part of the show, and that is a moment. Okay, you guys, so I really want you to take this meditation seriously. I mean, I want you to take every meditation seriously, but this one, like, I literally skipped all the other segments so that we could focus in on this subject. Because it's a pretty serious subject and situation that a lot of us deal with every day and just don't want to do the heavy lifting of it. But we're here. And if you made it this far, that means that you're ready to do the heavy lifting, and that's all that really matters. So during this meditation, I definitely want you to reflect on your relationship with your parents, whichever one. If you grew up with your mom, just your dad, both, two moms, two dads, I don't know, your grandma, whoever raised you, and whoever made the most prevalent impact into your life, reflect on that. Reflect and see how you feel about the relationship. Really start to get your thoughts together so that when it comes to you doing the questions from the lab, doing your shadow working questions, you'll be able to come from a clear mind and have your thoughts ready since you took that time in the meditation. So, of course, I want you guys to breathe from your diaphragm, not from your lungs. And I want you to go ahead and take a deep breath in and exhale. So we can clear that energy out and go ahead and get started with our 5-minute meditation. Let's go, y'all. All right, go ahead and inhale and embrace, hold and accept, exhale and release. Inhale and embrace, hold and accept, exhale and release. Inhale and embrace, hold and accept, exhale and release. Inhale and embrace, hold and accept, exhale and release. Inhale and embrace, hold and accept, exhale and release. The next 4 minutes are all for you. Welcome back, you guys, to your consciousness. So, I hope you guys had a great meditation. And that is really it from this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's probably a little shorter. I can't really tell what time it is, but I do know that I wanted to just dedicate this episode to my mama. She deserved. Okay. Mi madre, mi amor. I love her so much. I just hope that it touched her heart and she better listen to this. Because if she don't, be like, girl, this whole episode was for you. But I'm pretty sure she will, She's my biggest cheerleader. She really is. So without further ado, if you guys want to keep up with me, you can always find me on IG at the a.w.podcast. And I will be putting some stuff on TikTok soon, so stay tuned. You can also find us on Facebook. If you want to watch this, you can watch us on YouTube. Leave a comment, whatever you want to do. If you need to find the shadow working prompts, they will be in the comment section, not the comment section, the description box of the YouTube video. And also on my IG, when I post my promos, I also post the shadow working prompts, so you can always go back to them. And wherever you're listening to this at, thank you for listening. You can always find me on Spotify, iTunes, iHeart, and many of the other ones. I'm still trying to get on the other ones as well. So just bear with me or let me know if you don't see me there. Whenever you get a chance, leave me a review on iTunes and on Spotify. You can't leave reviews on Spotify, but you can definitely rate me if you listen to enough episodes. But if you're on iTunes, please leave me a review. Let me know how you're liking the show. I would really love to hear it. Yeah, that is it, you guys. I hope you guys have a fulfilling week and you make sure you do something that makes you feel extremely loved this week. Put yourself first and reflect in on this topic because it's serious and it's going to shape your perspective of the world once you're able to sit and be truthful with yourself. So I love y'all forever. And it was a pleasure working with you guys in the shop today. And I will see you guys in